start recording. Yay, hi. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for agreeing to do this with me tonight. It is going to be super cash, as I was just saying. Any rubies and above who have anything to add on to what we're saying tonight, please do. We would love some feedback, or even just like additional thoughts that you guys have as you're listening. So feel free to unmute yourselves. But Mac, I'm going to have you open this up. And I just want you to talk a little bit about, I know I'm like putting you on the spot. I saw you like gulp. No, but let's talk about, so I think that there's like a couple different ways that we adapt both in our everyday life, which you know very well of, and as well as just like you as an individual business owner, as well as a leader. So I feel like those are all kind of three separate points. So first, tell us your story, who you are, how you got into the business, how long you've been in, and talk about the adaptability that you've had to have just being a new mom.
Hey guys, so I'm Mackenzie. I've been in for about a year. I got started when I saw somebody's post on Facebook. I kept seeing her post over and over and over again. And so it piqued my interest. At the time, I did join when it was only $20 code. So I was like, what the heck? Who cares? It's only 20 bucks, right? I've absolutely loved the business so far and everything that I've been learning. The past few months have definitely been a lot more learning for me because I actually have jumped into all of this. What were your other questions?
Nothing, just that's great. And then talk about what rank you're going for, what rank you are now. And then let's talk about just like how you've had to adapt in your personal life, because I know you still work full time and obviously you're a new mom. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so I actually haven't promoted yet, but I am box for Ruby. I am almost box for Emerald. I'm so close. But I am running for the Diamond promotion. That's my goal, and that's where I am going to be. Like Lex said, I am a new mom. I have a 6-month-old son. He is my pride and joy, and he's my reason why I have definitely started pushing a lot harder for this and why I want this even more. It definitely has been hard adapting from going to not being a mom to being a mom and working full time for sure. Um, Really, it's all about scheduling. I'm like big on schedules and I write all of my stuff down. I have a little checklist, my journal, and everything like that. Like, I gotta check it off to make sure I did it. It's been a lot, but I have kept on track with my schedule. Lex is really good on getting our schedules in and stuff. If you guys are in the team pages, definitely check those out because it has helped me a lot to stay on schedule and stay on top of all of my stuff.
Yeah, that's so huge. Okay, so let you touched on very briefly, but I want you to elaborate a little bit. So first of all, give yourself so much credit. Like, you work so much, and I know that your partner recently just lost his job, and so you've been having to pick up extra hours, work even harder in your business, obviously, because this is now like priority number one for you. So what schedule works for you? Because I know so many people do different things, and we can get into the 6 list and all that kind of stuff later. But like, what does an average day look like for you, given that you do work and you do have a kid, but like you are so close to your promotions and obviously running?
So I have to leave the house by 6 in the morning to get to work on time. I'm usually up between 4 and 4:30. Just so I usually journal in the morning. Honestly, I do self-development when I get to work because I can have my headphones in and it's so negative there. I don't want to listen to it anyways. So I just pop my headphones in. I usually listen to training videos and self-development while I'm at work. I do get breaks and I am breastfeeding, so I'm pumping while I'm at work as well. So I go hide in the bathroom for like 30 minutes during that time. During that time, I do messaging, I post to my story, I send out my newbies tasks and everything throughout the day. Usually when I get home, it's about 3:30, 4 o'clock when I'm home. And so I take about an hour and a half just to spend time with my family since I haven't seen them all day. After that, then I take about an hour and a half to get messages out, put up another post, keep adding to my story. And then by that time, it's time for my son to go to bed. I make some dinner. Then I'm up until about 10 or 11 sending out messages and stuff too.
Okay, so you are like the definition of zero excuses. Like you are willing to, you guys, she just said that she went to bed and she goes to bed on an average night at 11 p.m. And did you hear in the start of it that she wakes up between 4 and 4:30? The poor woman gets 5 hours of sleep if her kid sleeps through the middle of the night, which we're working on, but it's a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
But that's so huge, and you just make sure that you get it done. Like, I don't know why, but you guys hear it all the time, and you're going to get annoyed of me saying it. And frankly, I get annoyed of thinking it all the time. But it just goes back to my very first conference and Carrie Young looking at me and just being like, just get it done. And you are literally the definition of that. Like, you are going after your promotion, making your business a priority, but I hear that you're making your family a priority. You're making yourself a priority. You're doing self-development. Like, you're still doing all the things. So kudos to you. That's amazing. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is that, like, when you guys see my schedule, it's a lot easier for me, right? Like, my days are still crazy, but especially with being quarantined, like, and being a stay-at-home mom, this is my full-time thing. So it's easier for me to do block schedules where from a certain time to a certain time, I will work my business while Oakland's sleeping. And then there's an hour for me. And then I'm doing house stuff or whatever. Like, that's what works in my brain. But just like she's saying, she has a set schedule and knows what time she's doing things and when she's making her business a priority. She's also working in the nooks and crannies of her day, which is what I so remember about working full time and doing this. I got up early, I went to bed late, and I worked any second that I could. And honestly, I had such a hard time learning to make myself and my family a priority, which is why you guys see me pushing your health and your family so much, because I made the mistake of sacrificing my family for this business, which is really easy to do. They're the whole reason that we started this, okay? So make your family a priority. Having said that, you will have to make sacrifices, and I'm sorry, but you might not have to, you might have your kids watch an extra 2 or 3 movies a day while you're doing a promotion month, because that's what it takes. But there's a balance, you see. You're still spending that time with your kids and your family and your spouse and with yourself, but still doing the thing. So yay, I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's talk about in the business, like how much we've grown. And I can talk a little bit on this. And I want to go over the stuff that's in the chats too, because Kristen, I see your question and I think it's good for everybody to hear. And I love Mackenzie's answers, of course. But let's talk a little bit about just us individually and how we've had to grow. And like, we're both going to have totally different things to say about this just because we're in such different places in the business. But you guys, I can't tell you how much I have been forced to grow over the last 2 years, like both in my personal life, in this business, and in leadership. Like, it challenges every bone in my body and is so hard for me, especially because I'm so red. Like, if you guys have taken the color personality test, and I'm really going to hone in on this tonight and stress the importance of, is y'all should know your colors. You should know what your primaries are. You should know exactly what I'm talking about, the Jacob personality test, so that you can better lead your team. And we're going to jump into that when we start talking about leadership. But man, I have had to grow so much, like even just between, and Mackenzie, you're like literally right about to see this, where when Oakland went from newborn to like baby, it was a weird transition. And then when she went from like baby to toddler, I was like, everything changed, because I had a baby and I was, not working anymore. And I had a baby that would sleep all day, taking 2 naps. Like, it was cake working my business. And now she's a 2-year-old hellion running around my house screaming. And like, every day is just an absolute disaster. And like, I never get ready. Right. So it's totally a balance, but you're gonna find this like groove of things. And that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because things change. Not every day is going to be the same, and we have to be open-armed and welcoming to that change for all of this to work, for us to have successful relationships, whether it's with friends or our partner or our downline, to have a successful business, to feel good about yourself, to feel like just to be happy, right? Like, isn't that everybody's goal, is just to like feel in flow? I don't know about you guys, but it is for me. Like, I just want to feel like every day is a breeze, and it takes a lot of practice. This is something that you have to work on. This isn't like a skill that you just naturally have. Growth and adaptability is something that you train yourself on, and it's a muscle that you work out every single day. So Mackenzie, you want to jump in a little bit on that, and just like how you and your personal business, and especially like you said, you know, this has been a progress for you. You've been in a year, you're boxed for Ruby, you're so close to that promotion, and there was a switch where things just kind of clicked. You got the schedule, you knew what you needed to be doing and working on every day. Like, what was that change for you?
I would definitely say the switch was just, so I took almost 12 weeks off for my maternity leave. Going back, a lot of things changed, and honestly, having a kid for me caused a lot of anxiety being away from him. I think that was mainly my switch right there. I did not want to be away from him. Going back to a place that was just full of so much negativity that I wasn't used to being around again because I was gone for that much time. It just flipped something for me that I'm done, and it was time to jump in full force and all of this. Um, I'm definitely like, I'm super green, super yellow. I don't like the conflict. This is super out of my comfort zone for me, but you know what, whatever. The scheduling is just everything for me, honestly. Like, that's all I gotta say. The schedules are big. You got to do the schedule. Um, it's just like, my son's just my everything, so I want to do everything I can for him. So
Oh my God, I love that. And if you guys need help creating a schedule, like, that's something that I can help with too. Like, I know with Madison B, we just went over a schedule with her. That's something that I'm kind of implementing with my newbies is, okay, tell me what an average day looks like for you. How much time can you spend on this? And then I'm kind of basing that off of those walk, jog, run photos that I had Nat put in the comments of today's post, right? And we'll just create a schedule right off the bat so that they're immediately set up for success regardless of what their day looks like. And I always make sure to tell them, like, look, things are going to come up. Something inevitably is going to happen during your day where when you had a 12 to 1 block schedule, it's not going to be from 12 to 1. Maybe it's from 3 to 4. It doesn't matter when the time is, but just shift your schedule down. You still have all the same boxes to check off every single day. It doesn't matter when they get done. You just don't go to bed till they're done. Right? So we can work on that together if that's something that you would benefit from. I know a lot of people do. It's something that has completely changed my business. If you guys are somewhat of seasoned distributors with me, you guys will remember, and it's one of Nat's favorites, about I don't know, maybe a year ago, I want to say 10, 11 months ago, we did what Jackie Deering was doing with her team at the time, which she still does for her personal business every day. And she just got a journal and she wrote down, like, instead of time blocks, it's just like check marks. So for example, every time you get a hap up, you just like check a box. I do 10 boxes, 15 boxes, whatever. And I just check them off. And when I have them all filled, I know that my haps are done for the day. It doesn't matter how many messages you send out. We're focusing on the results, not busy work. Okay. So I don't want you focusing on how many so-and-so sending and how many you're sending, and that's how many you should be sending per day. No, just get the haps up, get the potentials. So you could do the same thing with like potentials or posts or whatever you need to be reminded to do that day. I would even write stuff down when I was doing this, like training video, self-development for 60 plus minutes, team value / newbie trainings, charting, like all of that kind of stuff is what I would write on my daily to-do list. And then you just don't go to bed till it's done, right? Especially during promotion month, you guys. People always ask me like what I do every day or like how many messages I send. Like there's this secret number or there's this secret 6 list that I do to get where I am. No, you guys, I did the same 6 list that you're doing to get where I am, and I do it the same every day now. It's the same thing always to get you from point A to point B, and there's no end in this business. You just keep going. You keep building. You keep doing the 6 list. You keep doing the things. So instead of asking what I'm doing every day, just double your 6 list. You guys all know what to do. Like even newbies, you guys we give you all the tools in the world. There's every single tool that you could possibly need on YouTube or on the Success Squad page or in the 2020 push page. And if there's not, you just personally text me or your enroller and we'll find an answer for you, like, period. So I don't know how I got started off on that tangent, but point being, because of scheduling or whatever, right? And I see your vision board behind you too. And it's so funny because when you start writing down exactly what you want, both for your promotions, how many enrollments you want to get every month. Like I write down, another thing that I do is I'll like split a page in half and I'll write the month. So for example, April, and then I'll do 1 through 50 on each side. And I just try to hit that 50 every month. Because if you're focused on, like, it's such a stupid cliche term, but shoot for the moon and you'll land on the stars, right? Like, give it a 10x goal and you're gonna land somewhere in between. But if you shoot for the bare minimum, you might not even hit that every time. So shoot high and land somewhere in the middle, but have some sort of goal. Where are you going? How much money do you want to make with this? What are your dreams? Like when she's talking about that click with her son, we say all the time, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. And I somewhat beg to differ. That's a stupid cliche term, but it's so true. Like you have to know exactly where you're headed, because if you're lost and you don't know where you're going and you're just kind of like running on a hamster wheel every day, your team is going to feel the exact same thing. So when you start creating that vision and you start telling everybody where we're going, like, no, we are a diamond team in the next 90 days. Who's coming with me? People are going to come. But if you're sitting there going, dang it, I don't know what to post today, or I don't even have a schedule for myself, so when am I going to work my business? Gosh, I'm just so overwhelmed. I have a baby, I have a full-time job, I need to make dinner, like I have to do laundry, I have to do all these things. Like that's how, it's just a ripple effect, and it's going to flow directly into your business. This is also why when we do your schedules, I force you to schedule in time with your family. And also I have you do those 3 goals, the house, personal, business, right? And you pick 2 for each category. You guys will remember that I have you do that. That is because you will feel so much less stressed out on a day-to-day basis, because when people come to me and they tell me they're stressed about their business, it has nothing to do with their business. It's about the fact that they have 2 weeks of laundry sitting in their room and they haven't talked to their husband in 4 days, okay? Like it has absolutely nothing to do with the business. So when you start making your health and your family and your house and all these other things a priority, and you just literally prioritize everything from 1 to 10 for your day, you will hit it every time. This is just the difference between successful habits and unsuccessful habits. And you're going to have to drill it into yourself. This is called self-discipline. No one can teach you this. I cannot give it to you. You have to do this. So, okay, I don't know, man, is somebody turning up the heat? Because I'm sweating. Who knew that this was going to be a Lex rant sesh? Okay, so Mackenzie, as a leader, because you have been, oh my God, popping as this like who knew mass enroller recently. So how are you adapting as a leader and showing your team how to be okay with change? Because I think change freaks a lot of people out.
It's true. Change freaks a lot of people out, including myself. Still working on that. Adapting to being a leader has been a little difficult, but I definitely have an amazing leader that's already taught me everything that I need to know. I have definitely been teaching them. I've been going through the 7-day distributor or whatever, newbie list, whatever it's called. Don't remember what it's called. Whatever. I've been using that as a guideline, basically. I did create like a group chat for all of us and stuff like that, just so I can keep in touch with them. Teaching new people for me has been a little bit difficult just because of where I am right now. I think it's definitely like I need to feel like I'm worth that position, and I'm still working on that really. So yeah, I see that face. Still kind of working on that. But being a leader's been, I mean, it's been fun so far. I've been having fun with it. I hope my newbies have been having fun with it too. So
Oh my gosh, that is so good. You are literally like, I can just feel the excitement come off of you, and that's what your distributors feel too. And I will totally agree with what you were saying, and the fact that leadership is hard. Like, that is probably the one thing that no one prepares you for, because you just simply can't be prepared for it. But it's the one thing that no one prepares you for coming into this business, and it's literally the hardest part of it. Like, for me personally, for me, the enrollments are there, the 6 list is there. Like, I've been in this 2 years. It's all like habitual for me now, but the leadership changes every time, and you're dealing with so many different personalities and people from all ethnicities, all age groups, all over the world, all different types of demographics as far as what their income is before they come into this business, which really does have an impact on their educational level. So there's learning curves there, and there's, it's really hard. Like, I don't think there's any beating around the bush about that. Like, let's just be real in 2020. It's hard being a leader. And there's really tough and awkward conversations that you have sometimes. But one thing that Jackie said on her video today is learning as a leader to have the conversations you have to have instead of the conversations you want to have. We have to learn how to stop being people pleasers, because at the end of the day, people joined us because they trusted us to guide them to success. And sometimes I won't make you happy. Sometimes my answer won't be what you want to hear. And you can be pissed off at me for 24 hours, but I promise you, I will never tell you anything that is not in your best interest. I will always be there for you. I will die for you in this company. Like, we talk about all the time what this battlefield is, and you guys are my soldiers. Like, I will be behind you every single day. And that's what you just have to know. And you'll build that confidence as you grow in this company. Trust me, I did not have this confidence when I first started, especially as a leader, but it's something that you grow into, because when you have this much confidence, and I can honestly say these things to you guys, you feel it. Like, drop a 1 in the comments if you know deep down in my heart what I am saying is true right now. And that is because I've built that trust with you, and I've set those guidelines from the get-go. Just being real and raw, and sometimes it might sting. Like, I can't tell you how many times my leaders have had to be like, I know that you had the best interest of heart there, but we need to fix this, or we need to work on this area, and this is how you can improve. And does it feel like somebody's kind of telling you that you're doing something wrong, or that, whatever types of ways that you start thinking about it? Yes. And that's never going to go away. Okay. But honestly, exactly, when you come from a place of love, always, people will feel it. Cami Pentecost says on every freaking Zoom that she's on, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And that is 100% accurate. I can promise you that when my heart shifted, the team shifted. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but there was a time in my business where I was so mass enrolling and so focused on my business and where I was taking us, and there was just so much confusing leadership around me, and I didn't know things. You guys felt that too, and we were all kind of just like, all the time. But can you honestly, like, shake your heads if you agree with me, say that we have so much better direction. We have so much better leadership. We have so many more tools. We have so many things, and you guys are having much more real conversations with your downline. You're having realer conversations with your potentials. You guys are getting more vulnerable in your posts and in your lives. And it is honestly affecting your business in such a positive way. We have welcomed so many new people into the company the last 3 months, you guys. It's not even funny. And that's not all from me. I cannot take credit for this team. Like, we have literally exploded, and it is all because of layered leadership. I taught you, who taught them, who taught them, who taught them. And that is how you are successful in this business. That is how you create a successful team who's going to the top with you, because they know that you're mama, and that push comes to shove, you're finna fight, but you are also there to hug them at the end, right? Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to touch on this, and you don't have to get super into detail since I know you know her personally and everything, and some other people do on the team too, but your leader or slash enroller, I should say, is no longer in the company. I don't think she's ever going to come back. And this is something that a lot of people is going to like make or break them, because I hadn't really taken you under my wing at that point. It was a while where you were kind of just like there, you know? So talk about that, and how did you like self-teach, you know? And then when we kind of collaborated together was when you really soared, but like where that transition period was weird for you. So how did you handle that, and what advice would you give to someone if their enroller quits?
That time was weird. It was really weird, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But um, the group that we were in, I think I was in the Team Bob Diggity group. Um, Honestly, there's just a lot of announcements and stuff on there, and I made sure I paid attention to all of the announcements, and I made sure I hopped on like the weekly Zooms and stuff like that, so I was getting that information. I honestly didn't really like know about all the YouTube trainings. I knew they were out there, but I didn't know how much was out there, who I should be following or anything. So I didn't really hop on that stuff until Lex really like started showing that stuff to me. Um if, Really, I just paid attention to the groups. Like I was either going to do it or wasn't going to do it. So I made sure I paid attention to what was being announced, what was in our group chats, what was in our team page. Like you just got to do it. I wanted to do it. So, and honestly, my first like few months, I was doing really great. Fell off because maybe an excuse, but I did not have any leadership whatsoever, and I did not know what I was doing being so new to it. So,
And what's like one tip that you could give somebody? Like if somebody's enroller is quitting right now and they're trying to decide like, is this for me? Do I stay in this? Like what's your answer and what's your tip?
honestly, who cares about your leader? You're either going to do this or not going to do this. So, if you want it, you're going to do it. Go find somebody else. There's YouTube out there. Lex is amazing. She'll help. I'll help. You know, there's a whole team page of people to help you. There is a whole bunch of YouTube to help you. So you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it.
Oh, I love that. It's total. And that's, I've said, I had to have this conversation with some people in this business too. And maybe you will eventually one day, but people have to sink or swim. And there's only so much that you can do. And what I want you guys to realize is that if your enroller quits, if your downline quits, again, like she was saying, it just doesn't matter. They're not paying your bills. And frankly, you guys, like, we don't need to get into it, but like, I didn't have the greatest leadership either, you know, and we're still here. And honestly, I can say that we are stronger than ever. We're tighter than ever. Like, I feel like we are truly a family now. And that is a decision that I made, that we made. And you can make that same decision for you and your team. And like Mackenzie was just saying, like all of you guys are on my downline. So I'm here, Mackenzie's here. There's so many other sideline sisters who are willing to help. So there's just really no excuse. Like you're either you join this business for a specific reason and you're going to fulfill that purpose, or you're not. And I say it in other Zooms too, but like you can feed the dogs, but you can't force them to eat, right? So make sure that you are being that leader that you wanted if you don't have it, or be the leader that you want to be because you do have it, right? Either way, start showing up as that person. We leave clues all the time. If you guys know that I'm reaching out to your downline, introducing myself, that's probably a really good hint that you guys need to be introducing yourself to your downline, whether you like enrolled them or not. Whoever enrolled them, I want to make this clear, whoever enrolled them will be training them. So don't be hounding this person, giving them different trainings. They're getting training from the one person unless you hear otherwise. And if after their 30-day mark, they need additional training, you can step in. Having said that, you should absolutely introduce yourself. Hey, my name's Alexa. I know you don't know me. I know Noelle or whoever enrolled you, but I just wanted to introduce myself as your Double Diamond leader. If you ever can't get a hold of Noelle or whoever enrolled you, I'm always here to help. You just made the best decision ever. That's literally my message. I keep it that sweet, short, simple, and not really until after that 30-day mark, I kind of let you guys have the reins. That's why we provide those trainings. Madison B is a perfect example. She is brand new, you guys. I want you to give her some love in the chat right now. She is literally 5 DTs from being boxed for Emerald. She started on the 21st of last month, okay? She is literally killing it. And I love it. I love it. But she's just a perfect example of that, of making sure that she's showing up, and she's just like the definition of ignorance on fire and is just going for it. So just take the things that we give you and start implementing them. If you see that, and I just did a whole thing on this, so I don't feel like we need to go over it too much, but be the person that you want to be. If you see rank ambassador, ambassador 2.0, whatever like your dream rank is, how do they show up? How do they train their teams? Are they hosting working Zooms? Like, how serious are they taking this? Joel and Stephanie Dunn already have their charts done tonight. They're already done for all of their teams. That Jade Hooper has the next 30 days of her posts planned out. Right? Jackie Deering got on a Zoom with her team tonight and spit some fire, right? Like, we all know these things. So just start doing them. You see it. So whatever you're seeing, do. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's so, so, so simple. Okay. And then what was I just about to say? I wrote something else down. Does anybody have any questions or anything that we should go over? Mackenzie, do you have any like last things you want to say? Drop them in the chats if you have questions and we'll go over them right now. And then, yeah, you guys, there was another thing that I wanted to do. I can't believe I didn't freaking open with this. I even had it written down. But we'll end with it instead. So let's do questions really quick and then we'll do this. Connor. He's playing video games. Okay. What do you journal about? Okay, this is asked twice. This is perfect. I want to read Mackenzie's answer really quick, and then I'll say mine, and then if you have anything else to add, Mackenzie, go for it. So she said, I journal about things I'm grateful for, 10 dreams I made happen. I speak to the universe about my business and affirmations. Look up Rachel Hollis Start Your Day Journal. It's amazing. Okay, this is literally exactly how I got started into journaling as well. So she literally sells books of them. I bought like 4 of them and have just run through them. And now I just do it myself in a cheapo journal, but it is so huge. She talks about why it's important to do this, what this is going to do for you. P.S. It's a write-off if you buy it. It's so good. And then personally, like other things that I journal about, so I tend to do that on days that I'm like in a rush and stuff. Yes, she does have flash sales, but on days where I have a lot of time, what I personally like to do is I like to do a short meditation. So that's anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes for me. Longer meditations are usually like an hour to 2 hours, but I'll do a shorter meditation. And then I like to have a journal by me as soon as I'm done. So I don't touch my phone. And as soon as I am done with my meditation, I journal about what I felt, what I heard, what I saw, anything that I experienced in my meditation, I write down. I will also write down like any prayers that I have, like things that I just, and like whatever you believe in, apply it to that. But I will just write down things like, let me see the best in people today. Let me have more patience. Like whatever it is that I'm needing to work on, those are things that I'll write down too. I will also write down affirmations. So like, I'm a money magnet. I attract hardworking people. Dream customers and distributors come to me. Like all of these different things I'll write down. Other things that I journal about is like things that I'm struggling with and then forcing myself to see the silver lining. There are so many different YouTube videos that you can look up on journaling, but I highly suggest that you do this daily. So Mackenzie, did you have anything to add on to that before we go into like the next question? I'll let you read it and answer it first if you want. Okay, what if all distributors can't get a hold of their upline? What if a distributor doesn't train anyone because they were never around to be trained? Okay, I feel like those are 2 different questions. So Mackenzie, do you want to answer the first one and then I can just hit on whatever you don't? But what if a distributor can't get a hold of their upline and they need help at a time?
There's usually okay, I know we're not supposed to message in the group chat, but people that are in there, like the admins and stuff, Nat, Mads, I think Julie is one as well, or Lex. Get a hold of one of them. You can message me too if nobody's getting back to you or anything. There's always somebody available to help.
Totally. And a lot of the times there's something in the team page that could answer it. What I will say is give the person that you asked at least 2 hours to answer you. That's a very reasonable time frame. And if you're blowing a million people up, like, yes, we're here with welcome and open arms, but sometimes somebody will text somebody and then text four other people, and then we're all answering the same question, and it's just obnoxious. And then there's different answers being there, and it's a thing. So go to your enroller. If they're not available, go to their upline. If they're not available, go to somebody who's Ruby or above. So that's Madison, Nat, Julia, Renee. And those are kind of the people that I want you going to. Okay, that's a really good question. And then what if a distributor doesn't train anyone because they were never around to be trained? I feel like that's just kind of on you. Like, it's your job to train your distributors, and there are so many different tools. So I don't know if that's like your question, but there's YouTube videos, there's trainings like this, there's, like we have the entire leadership training, like day 1 through 10 or whatever, in the 2020 push page. And then, yeah, you can always ask around if you need help too. So if you're ever unsure, you could come to me. You could go to those other people's names that we listed, whatever it is. Those are really good questions. Does anybody else have any other questions before we close out? Mackenzie, do you have like a last tip? I know it's like a tough on the spot question.
Yeah. Not really a tip, but guys, this is promotion month. Our promotions got extended, which is freaking amazing. I am so excited about that. But this is the time to do it or not to do it. So I say run, but you're going to do whatever you want to.
Mic drop. Like, we can end there. No, it's so true, you guys. Like, there's no excuses. There's every tool in the toolbox for you, regardless, like whatever you need, it's all there. And there's always someone who can help you. And we have such a great BAM account. And like you guys, we are so set up. Like, this team is amazing. Also, this is like literal emergency situation. Like, I'm talking someone's dying, okay? Go to me like well before, like, you give me 4 hours before you go to this person. But if there is a legitimate like emergency situation, Fair Monteclavo is all of our presidential uplines. So if there's this very serious situation, you can't get a hold of me, you can always message her on Facebook, but that's like last resort. Like, she's up here. So come to us, but just in case you need her, she is of course there, and she's really sweet and has done nothing but welcome this team like nobody's business. Her and Amber Erickson both, and Nicole Doyle, they're just like, or not Nicole Doyle, what's her last name? I forget her last name. Nicole something. They're all amazing. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to do is read you guys our 100 Days to Brave, and then I want anybody to put anything, like a prayer or something that they're struggling with or that they need us to like just touch on for a sec in the chats. I know it's like a crazy time and we all need each other. So there's the support if you need it. Okay. Brave people need people. You are better off to have a friend than to be alone, because then you will get more enjoyment out of what you earn. If you fall, your friend can help you up. But if you fall without having a friend nearby, you're really in trouble. One 4th of July, I was exactly 1 week from moving from Nashville to Edinburgh, Scotland. I was terribly sad to leave my community. I knew God had said to go to Edinburgh. I don't know how you say that. I was just brokenhearted to leave my people. So on that sunny day in July, our crew spent the day tubing down the Buffalo River. We laughed as people got flipped off their tubes by rapids. We brought enough snacks to float all the way down to Florida and never get hungry or thirsty. It began to rain, and we laughed again as everything we had worked so hard to keep dry to get soaked. It was one of those bookmark days, the kind you tell your kids about. We got back home just in time to clean up and reconvene for the fireworks show. Walking toward the parking deck to get a good look at the fireworks, we were just a friendship amoeba. I don't know what that means. A blob of people. To left, Kurt, a production manager for a local band and one of the most responsible and kind men in my life. To my right, Lindsay, a fantastic writer and one of my best friends. As the tears began to puddle right on top of the lower lids, I slid my left hand into the bend of Kurt's right elbow. We smiled. The tears rolled down my cheeks. If there was a way to stop them, I didn't know it and couldn't have thought it through those steps clearly anyways. I said to Linz, "Hold my hand." And so we walked, the three of us, linked by sorrow, to see the fireworks show. I knew with my whole heart that God wanted me to move, but I mourned leaving my people. As sad as that part of my life was, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's easier to have a relationship with your Netflix queue. Why? Because you don't have to say so many painful goodbyes. You don't have any friction with your Netflix shows. If you don't like a show, you drop it. But friendship takes work. Friendship takes courage. We all need people. You've got to be brave and let yourself love people. And to make brave choices, you have to get the support of your own friendship. And then it says, be brave. Send a letter to a friend who has been there for you before. Thank him or her. Tell your friend how much he or she means to you. Okay, I love that. Mad says, I want to pray for y'all tonight, so you can either put it here or private message me and I'll add you to my prayer. For real though. Nat said, Lord, please send me the flippin' strength to deal with my family during this homebound time. I know you're hella struggling with that. I have never had so much on my shoulders and so much weighing down on me, and I need everything I can to get through it. If anyone knows my family, y'all would understand. Straight up. And I'm going to be completely real and vulnerable with you guys. Like, we need this promotion, like, life or death. Like, it literally is, at this point, keeping, I don't know, like, cry. But it is literally, like, food on the table for my kid or not. And, like, I have to make this happen. So I want you guys to come with me, but if you could pray for us and just, like, be so happy to be here, because I'm so happy that all of you are here. Oh, pregnancy does me dirty, but it's for real. And, like, it's to the point where I need this business more than anything else, and the devil's for real trying me. Like, shut up, Matt. My Facebook is locked out. Like, I've been hit with, I can't tell you how many obstacles, and I know that that's why this is right around the corner for us. And I know that me going triple literally means someone else on this team going double, multiple people going diamond. Like, that is so much for me. Like, I cannot wait for you guys to have that. I cannot wait for you to feel what that promotion feels like for the first time, because it is the best thing you will ever experience. Like, I cannot replace the month that I went double. Like, it was so good, you guys. It was awesome. And I want that for you too. So, whew, the waterworks came. But y'all, if you have any other prayers, put them in the chat. I'm going to stop the recording.